Sorry.
I think so. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, I mean, it's like 10 hands.
Get Lewis.
On the head is okay? So please tell them Lewis at Reentry.
This collar. Don't look at my shirt while I'm talking because this is going to bug you. Oh my God, this keeps popping out.
I wouldn't have noticed. Now I've been doing it
I'm sorry.
to yourself.
You know what? In trying to anticipate problems, I create problems, right? Like. All right. Excuse me. I'm going to start a minute. Yeah. Actually, let me get the. All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and. I want you all in here at least for the. Yeah. Excuse me.
Check your equipment again.
I got it. Huh. How'd that happen? All right. Hello. How did that happen? Weird. Okay. Nope.
We'll go through that door. That's we walk through that door when we think it's.
Sure, I don't know where
That goes like.
Good morning. Good morning. I haven't been here, so forgot the layout.
It's a.
Guys,
Got a retro DJ in it? I'll tell you something, I'm not too sure.
cool.
Oh, I got it. Retro, but
It's
All right.
It's a happy big blue bag.
Hey, Chris, is it? For the video, he's got this.
You're like.
Yeah, you good? Okay, good.
Right. Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here today. My part is quick, and then I'll hand it off to Damon, and we can get started. Quick introduction. My name is Rahat. I'm the Chief Legal and Compliance Officer for the agency. What does that mean? Essentially, I manage all the corporate business for New Jersey Reentry Corporation. That's our contracts, memorandums of understanding, our leases for our several locations, labor employment issues, any kind of litigation matters that runs through me. And then I Very importantly, I manage the legal services team within the New Jersey Reentry Corporation. We have one legal services coordinator at each one of our 8 program sites. They will introduce themselves shortly, but they're standing here in the corner in the front of the room. And what we do within our legal department at the New Jersey Reentry Corporation is a whole ton of stuff, but that includes municipal court warrant recalls and fine waivers, pro se criminal record expungements, which is the reason we're here today, suspended driver license clearance, recovery of birth certificates, social security cards, and referrals for pro bono legal assistance. In addition to that, I oversee our HR department, and I'm in charge of the compliance for the agency. So, the reason we're here today. So since 2021, when New Jersey launched its online portal for the Clean Slate Expungement Program, we became very aggressive in helping our program participants obtain expungement of their criminal records if they qualify. Damon, you might have the most updated number.
136.
Thank you. Great. And so I figured you would have the updated number. I knew it was well over 100. So since we started our program in-house, we have helped 136 of our participants obtain a complete clearance of their criminal record, which we're incredibly proud of and very excited. And one of the best phone calls that our legal services coordinators get to do is that phone call where they tell a participant your record's clear, and we love to be able to do that. So that's essentially the reason we're here. You'll learn about what we do within our expungement program, and I'll just turn it over to Damon Watson, our Senior Director of Legal Services and Corporate Development, to kind of get into it more. Thank you.
Thanks, Rahat. Thank you. I was going to ask for that, but shouldn't have to. So, hi. So as Rahat said, my name is Damon Watson. I am the Senior Director of Legal Services and Corporate Development at New Jersey Reentry Corporation. Rahat manages all of us. I'm basically the team captain for the team. So kind of like a player captain. I don't actually perform legal services coordinator specific duties at any site, but I'm at our headquarters and I do pitch in and I help out. And I like to think I trained all these guys, but they sort of figure out a lot on their own along the way, and they're all very good. And you're going to meet them in a minute. So that's a little bit about me. This was taken recently at a TED Talk. Y'all know what a TED Talk is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I did a TED Talk in October. The topic or the title was called Believe in Second Chances. So I think the way that I like to do these is I'm just going to give you sort of a modified version of the TED Talk because I think it's engaging and interesting. And I think you guys will take a lot away from it. But also, I have this limited edition TEDx Jersey City bag. They gave these out to the VIP ticket holders and to the speakers. So I think there might have been 100 of them, and I have a few. And so I'm going to tell a couple of stories at the beginning of my presentation. And then I'm going to have a little quiz, a 1-question quiz. And if anybody gets a question right, you can have this handsome bag. It also actually has a little USB port on the outside, so you can plug a battery on the inside and charge your phone. It's pretty cool. But before I go into anything else, I would like to have the team introduce themselves, because after this presentation, we're going to go into the other room. And if you are enrolled in our program currently, one of the legal services coordinators is going to be able to check to see if you're eligible for expungement. And if you're already enrolled in the program, we'll be able to do the expungement. Or if there are steps that you need to follow before we actually do an expungement, we'll let you know that at that time. If you're not currently enrolled in the program, we will still check to see if you are eligible for expungement. And then, because we're required to have folks enrolled in the program if we perform these services, we will walk you through how you can get enrolled in the program. Okay, so before I go on, though, we'll just go in order, and I'll start with Nuri. I want everyone to just basically say their name, the site that they work for, and how long they've been with the company. So.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Nuri. I'm the legal services coordinator from Patterson. And I have been with New Jersey Reentry for a little over a year now.
Hi, I'm Haley. I'm at the Ocean County site in Collins River. And this month, actually, I've been with the company for 2.5 years. Bye.
Morning, I'm Rahat, coordinator for Union County. I've been with the New Jersey Reentry a little over 9 months.
Hi, you guys. My name is Nathan. I'm at the Essex County location, which is in Newark. I've been here for a little over 5 months now.
My name's Zach. I'm the legal services coordinator in Middlesex County, and I've been here just about 3 years.
And then Lewis.
I'm Lewis in the doorway. This is my office. Good morning, everybody. And I've been in Reentry a long time.
You have been, and I have been here a little over 5 years. And New Jersey Reentry is about 10-ish years old, so I've been here half the life of the company. So it's been very rewarding. I'm very happy to be here and very proud to work with this team. So as promised, I'm going to tell a couple stories. First, I want to tell a story about a second chance. It has nothing to do with having been incarcerated. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just a second chance motivational story I'm going to tell you. And anybody here do racing, like 5Ks or running at all, anything like that? All right, so I do triathlon. I also do aqua bike, which is triathlon just without the run, because I'm 54 years old. My knees aren't going to last forever. So I figured I would do something that is a little less hazardous for my knees. And I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty fast. I do pretty well. So this recent season, I went to a race. It was a small local race in Lake Hapatcong, out near where I live. I live in Morris County, so it's just a little bit west of me. And I figured it's a small race. You know, I was a little cocky, a little feeling myself. I'm like, I'll win, no problem. I win aqua bike all the time. So the aqua bike participants have like a certain number range, you know, and I don't remember the number range, but there were about 10 of us. And when I finished, I get into the finish line, pass it. I go into the little transition area, and there's a dude in there, just putting his stuff away. He's got one of those aqua bike numbers. I was like, maybe I didn't win. And I was hurt because I really thought I would. I was cocky, right? I really was feeling myself. Small race, right? Local, grassroots. Those are the ones I win. And so I go up to the guy. I'm like, hey, man, were you an aqua bike? He goes, yeah. I'm like, man, all right, well, it looks like you beat me, man. Congratulations. And he goes, yeah, on my $50 Craigslist bike. And he literally had a bike that looked like a $50 Craigslist bike. I have like a $5,000 rocket ship, and this dude whooped me. And so I was like, okay. So I had a choice to make, because we actually had another race the very next day, cross town. It was in Wayanda State Park. I don't know if you all know where that is. I'm still not quite sure where it is. It's not even that easy a name to say. It's like they got tired while they were naming the park. So, and I said, hey, are you racing Wayanda tomorrow? He goes, yeah. I said, all right. You beat me by 30 seconds. That's the other thing. He beat me by 30 seconds. 30 seconds, but exactly, right? He still beat me. But 30 seconds for somebody of my intelligence and skill level was kind of hard to handle, because in triathlon, there's this thing called transition. So you get out of the water, you get into transition, and you take off your wetsuit, you put on your bike shoes, put on your helmet, and you go, right? That is where you can really make up time on people if they're slow in transition. 30 seconds, that's transition time, right? So was I too slow in transition? I don't know. So I had to do some self-reflection. I had to do a little bit of self-analysis and figure out, okay, what happened? What went wrong? Why didn't I beat this dude? So the next day comes around. I woke up. I go to Wayanda State Park. I pull in. One of the first ones there. I always try to be one of the first ones there. If you're not early, you're late. That will do very well for you, no matter what you do. But in life, if you're not early, you're late. I got here at 9 o'clock. I drove here from Jersey City. If you're not early, you're late. So I was early. Walked around, took a stock of the area, put my bike in transition. And then dude, Tim, his name is Tim. We're actually friends now. Tim shows up. I'm like, hey, man, how's it going? He goes, hey. He goes, you here to take another crack at me? I'm like, yeah, I am. So we start the race. We go in the water. And it turns out, I know why this guy beat me. He is a fish in the water. Fast. Dude walks up to the lake in a Speedo, no goggles, and his swim cap. I was like, dude, you give 0 Fs about that water, huh? He goes, I swam in college, right? So he took off. I didn't see him again, right? I didn't know where he was. I get out of the water, I get on my bike, I take off. 24-mile bike course. So I'm riding up, and then there's a turnaround, right? And then I don't know how far up the turnaround is, but as I'm going up, I see him come back, right? Now, I don't know how far ahead of me he is. No idea. But that's about 2 miles in. So I'm like, man, I got to beat this dude, right? Like, I have to, for me, right? Just to see if I can. So at mile 8 of 24, I roll up on him on a hill, right? Past him going up a hill. I look at him, I'm like, hey, Tim. He goes, hey, man. And I'm like, bye. And I took off. And that was it. I finished. About 2.5, 3 minutes later, he rolls up and he walks up to me and he's like, dude, you know, when you passed me on that hill, I just kind of gave up. I'm like, well, I wasn't trying to do all that. I wasn't trying to take your soul or anything, but, you know, I mean, we could be friends though, right? He goes, yeah, man, but good job. And it felt good. I mean, it didn't feel good that he felt bad about himself. That wasn't my goal. But I felt good about myself because I responded to adversity. I looked adversity in the face and said, you just gave me an opportunity to be better. And that's kind of the message that I want all of you to take from that, because when you come to reentry, you don't come to reentry when your life's going great, right? You're not here because you haven't faced obstacles. You're here because of adversity. So expungement, which is the thing that we're going to talk about today, is one of the ways that we manage that adversity. So let me get into more New Jersey reentry-oriented topics. So New Jersey Reentry Corporation was founded a little over 10 years ago, and in that time, we have helped over 35,000 individuals. We've touched that many lives. So I'd like to talk to you about one of them. So our subject's mother was a high-functioning alcoholic, and his father, although being one of the first black men in the country with both a medical and a law degree, was also a drug addict and abusive of his wife and sometimes of the kids. So clearly, our guy faced a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of adversity. Fortunately for him, he had something inside of him that could get him past all that, and he made it all the way through grad school. Then he got married, he had a couple of kids, he started a promising career, and then his world just totally exploded. Over a period of about 5 years, he lost 6 family members: mother, father, 2 grandmothers, grandfather, and an aunt. So what do you think happened? When you suffer loss like that, you don't respond well all the time. Not everybody does. And who can blame them? Right? So depression, addiction, divorce, job loss, home loss, felonies. So this guy walked into banks, cashed checks, did low-level fraud just to make enough to stay in motel rooms and feed his drug habit and eat, sometimes in that order. So he gets caught up. Because you don't do that stuff and not get caught up. I think we all know that. Eventually, you get caught up. Because not all of us are very good at doing bad, right? Because it's not who we're supposed to be. So we're not very good at it, and we get caught up. He went to jail for 9 months. So then he gets out, and he tries to do better. He tries to get a job. Tries to get a job, and he gets a bunch of offers. Because remember, he went to grad school. This was a successful guy. But every single one of his job offers was revoked at some point. Because why? We all know why. Record. He has a criminal record. Who knows what ban the box is? Y'all heard that phrase? Ban the box is a little bit toothless, but it was an attempt to try to solve the problem of folks not getting work because they have a criminal record. The only problem with ban the box is it prohibits you from asking about a criminal record on the application or during the interview. Once you extend a job offer, record's fair game. And so that's what happened to him. Every job offer revoked. So what does he do? It's back to what he knows. I mean, there are folks that come into my program or our program, but up in Jersey City, and back when I was a coordinator, they would say things to me like, man, I might have to go back and sell dope if I can't get a job. That's real. I mean, how many of you have experienced a moment like that? Where things aren't going well, you can't get a job, I need to turn back to crime? So he does, and multiple felonies later, he ends up doing another 11 months. Except this time, when he was locked up, he was very lucky. He saw a sign. He was just sitting, reading the paper, and he read an article about former Governor Jim McGreevey, who founded this nonprofit, and Michael K. Williams, the late actor from The Wire, in a documentary that they were working on. And he says to himself, when I get out, I got to go find that place. Because I need that place. And he did. And once he got to reentry, his life started to change almost immediately. He managed to get a job. Then he got a better job. Then he got in shape, started dating. And now it's been, 8-9 years, sober, crime-free. He's got a thriving life. Pretty good story, right? So here's the quiz. I will give this bag to anybody that can tell me the most interesting thing that both of those stories have in common. Anybody, raise your hand. Don't just shout out. Yeah.
Change.
It's interesting, but not the most interesting. Yes. I get that answer a lot, but that is not the most interesting thing. No. Anyone else?
Program.
Also interesting, not the right answer.
Made it come back?
Not the right answer. Anybody?
His perception of what happened?
No.
Didn't get a second chance.
No.
He had to hit rock bottom.
He did, but no. Now, here's the thing. I didn't tell you, like, it wasn't in the narrative what the most interesting thing is. So you might need to guess. No.
The amount of times you told this story.
Excuse me?
The amount of times you told this story.
No. Anyone? Yes.
You didn't tell us his name, is it you?
The main character is the most interesting thing that these stories have in common. Very good. Eventually, somebody always gets it. Because here's why this story is important. All right. And earlier, I think it was you asked, why would you look at me and think that I have drug crimes? And I'm like, I'm not making any assumptions. Because for real, reentry, expungement, second chances, felons can look like anyone. I mean, look at me. Right? And I know you got a question on your mind. You have to. I know there's some of you sitting out there thinking, is he really black? Yeah. Because remember, the thing about my dad, right? That's to throw y'all off because it's a true fact, but nobody looks at me and sees black. They look at me and see like a dorky accountant from New York or something. But I'm actually a black kid from Los Angeles who got caught up, right? That's who I am. So, but here's the thing. When you take a light-skinned man from Alabama and a Creole woman from Louisiana, and you mash them together, you get this kid who effed up, but then fixed his life, right? So, now the thing about my story is it took a really long time for me to be able to share it with people. Like, I didn't just show up at Reentry and start working, because I was locked up during the pandemic, right? The second jail bid, and I was locked up in California. That's something else I didn't put in the story because that might give things away. And there were people dying and it was awful. So I did read about New Jersey reentry in jail in California. And I did come back out here and I started working. I started as a part-time legal services coordinator in New Brunswick. And I didn't just start telling the story to people in the program, right? Because it's a shameful thing, right? There's a stigma attached to it that you have to fight through. It's embarrassing. And pride is always there messing with you. Always. But I finally shared it with a guy who is one of the owners of the triathlon brand that I race under. His name's Jake Brown. And so if y'all are on Instagram, look up Jacob Brown. All right, he's very inspirational. He's a wonderful guy. And I told him my story, and he's like, so you have Harvard? We'll get to that. Princeton? And we'll get to that. Jail, addiction? I'm like, not just addiction, man, meth, right? And he's like, you have all that? And you came out of that? Who has all that? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to sound narcissistic about it, but I might be one of one, right? I mean, I don't know who has all of those things. He goes, well, you need to tell your story. You need to help people. He goes, your story can save people's lives. So here I am. Now, as I already said, oh, and also just for point of reference, when I was homeless, I lived here in a tent on Skid Row near 5th and Town. And if you actually go on Apple Maps and you look up the Fred Jordan mission, you'll see exactly where I lived. It was pretty terrible. But as you all know, I bounced back. But here's the thing. Let me walk you through my descent and then the raise and then just talk to you about it a little bit. So I went from Princeton to prison. Actually, I never went to prison. I was in county jail twice, but, you know, Princeton to county jail sounds kind of stupid, so Princeton prison just sounded a lot better. So went from Harvard Law School, to homeless. But when you get to the bottom, how many of you feel like you've been at the bottom? Right? When you get to the bottom, you're never really sure if that's the bottom, because things are bad, and you always ask yourself, how could this get any worse? And then somehow it gets worse, right? And you're really not sure when it will stop getting worse, but I'll tell you when it kills you, because not everybody makes it back up. I've known people that have died, right? But when you're down there, you have a choice to make. You could stay down there and probably die, or you could find it in yourself to bounce back. And that's what I did. So when I bounced back, one of the first things I did was I went from state custody to 3 state championships. 2 of them in New Jersey and 1 of them in Pennsylvania, all in aquabike. That's why I was feeling myself. I was a state champion, and this dude beat me, right? But the most recent state championship was that second race on that second day. And that's why I had to beat that dude. So I did that. Then iron bars to Iron Man. That's a little branding I'm working on. What do you think? You guys like that? Iron bars to Iron Man? Cool? Not cool? Corny?
That's all right.
How dare you? But I finished 4 half Ironman events at 70.3 miles. And last year I finished the Lake Placid full distance Ironman, which is 140.6 miles. It's a lot, and Lake Placid is one of the hardest ones. But yeah, I did that too. So let me ask you guys something about what it's like for you to be incarcerated. Because when I was in jail, I felt like I was cut off from the world. Not just cut off like they threw me out, like it was like a dumpster. Right? You feel like you've been thrown away. And then when you get out, back when I got out the first time, I couldn't even vote. I mean, I actually went to sleep thinking I would wake up and Hillary would be president. I was in jail. I woke up in jail to President Trump. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing, right? So, I did something about that though, because I wanted to feel like I was part of the country again. I got tired of feeling like I was cut off. So I went and I qualified for Team USA, and I get to go to the World Championships next year. And actually, I checked this morning, and I'm actually ranked 11th in the country in aquabike, which is pretty cool. And I got to trade my fire camper inmate firefighter oranges for USA red, white, and blue. That is what my redemption looks like. And something like this could be waiting for anyone. Now, you might be sitting there thinking at this point, all right, dude's just up there bragging now, right? Yeah, I'm bragging. Of course I'm bragging. There's a reason for it. Did you forget the part where I was on Skid Row? Did you forget in a tent? Did you forget the part where I did 2 bids in county jail and couldn't get a job? Yeah, I'm bragging. I'm bragging because there's nothing special about me. And I was able to do all of that. Nothing special. I showed that last picture, this one, to one of my coworkers. I was going over the slideshow and he's like, Damon, man, I just want your life. I'm like, okay, then go get it. Go get it. All you have to do is believe in yourself. That's really it. When people come into the program and I sit down with them and I look at them in the eye, because how many of us really just want someone to do that, right? Just want someone to look us in the eye and tell us what's what. And I say, look, for this to work, 2 people need to believe in you, at least 2. And the first one could be me, right? Or sorry, the first one has to be you. Because if you don't believe in yourself, it's a wrap. Then the second one could be me. And then the third one could be Lewis. And the fourth one could be Nuri. And the 5th one could be your case manager and your social worker and the facility director. Eventually, you'll have a surplus of people believing in you. But it all starts with your belief in yourself. And when I finally decided to believe in myself, a lot of people believed in me along the way. And a lot of them didn't have to. Right? So the first guy to believe in me was a guy named Howard Mann. So Howard Mann was a lawyer in New York. Now remember, I have a law degree from Harvard, but I'm clearly disbarred, right? You don't do fraud felonies and now lose your license. So I don't have my license. So I had to humble myself and go look for a job as a paralegal. And I got on Craigslist and I found a dude and he called me and I went to meet him, rode my bike from Jersey City down to Hoboken, got on a train from Hoboken to Nanuet, got out at Nanuet, rode my bike to New City, because I wasn't driving. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a driver's license. I really have walked where a lot of you are walking, right? When you don't have your license, you can't get around. So I go meet with him, and he knew there was something up with me, right? He's like, hey, I looked you up. You got fraud or something, or you lived with Ted Cruz in law school. If you look me up on the internet, that's there too. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, look, you seem like a good kid. And I said, well, I'm in my 40s. But he's like, you seem like a good kid, and you seem like you're trying to do better. I said, I am. I just need a job, and I think I can help you. And he gave me a job. And he kept that job open for me after I was extradited from right in front of his office building and taken all the way back to California to answer for the other nonsense that I had to deal with. But he believed in me that much because I believed in myself. Now, my wife, she believed in me too, and she absolutely didn't have to, because early on in our relationship, she looks at me and she's like, tell me something shameful about yourself. Something not a lot of people know. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you sure? She goes, yeah. But I think this is an opportunity for me to have an honest relationship finally. Because I hadn't had one up until that point. I'm pretty sure I hadn't. So I emptied the tank on her. Said, all right, depression, addiction, job loss, death in the family, drugs, meth, skid row tent, jail, fraud, boom, everything. And she just looked at me and she said, anything else? She's my wife now. So I'm very lucky. Now, we're going to help you get a second chance. That's what we do here. But we have to make a deal. Because when you get that second chance, you have to start earning it. Right? When we get you expunged, if you get that expungement, you have to take that and you have to push forward with it in a meaningful way. How do I do it? Because I definitely have steps that I do. There's levels to this, and I'll take you through them. So when you get that second chance and you start earning it, the way I do it is every day I just set the tone. I set the tone by asking myself, what impossible thing am I going to try to do today to make myself better? And sometimes that impossible thing could be as simple as not getting in your feelings when that dude talks smack to you, right? Or not showing up to work mad and angry and take it out on your coworkers. Because we all know how hard that can be. Like I said, you don't come to reentry when your life's going great. We're all going through some version of it. And so doing the impossible thing could be as simple as managing that. If you look for things you can't do, you will find things that you can do. Don't waste any more time. Don't. We all have wasted a lot of time in our lives trying to be someone we're not. Finish what you start. Get started right now. Use every gift you have. Always show gratitude. Stop trying to be perfect. Just try to be excellent. And always find the good in the bad. That one's really important. Let me show you something. So I went from that to that in about a year, and I accomplished all of that riding a bike. But this date here, July 4th, 2019, later that month, I was extradited and taken back to California, and I spent 11 months in jail. So what do you not have in jail? You don't have a bike, right? I don't have my fitness pal. Don't have any of that. And I had just done all of that. I even told the detectives that came to pick me up, I'm like, you guys realized that I fixed my life and y'all are messing it up again, right? And they kind of chuckled about it. They wanted to give me 15 years. And we won't go into the details of all the mess that I faced, but I was home in 11 months. So I beat the case, fortunately, but I still lost 11 months. But while I was there, I had to do something to not lose that fitness I had gained. So I just started to run, right? I ran every day in busted jail shoes, blisters on my feet, concrete yards, in the dorm if I had to. Yes, I did whatever I could to make sure that I didn't lose that fitness. My fitness pal, which I didn't have, staring at him. So later that night, about 10 of them stalked him to the back, beat him down, right? Smashed him out. Screamed and begged for his life. It was awful, you know? And I know some of you probably experienced something like that. And then when I get to the end of that story and I look around the room and I look at all the shocked faces, that's what happens in jail? So you really think if you give me or any one of my formerly incarcerated brothers and sisters a job, we're going to risk going back to that nonsense? Crazy. You're crazy. We're going to hold on to that job with both hands for dear life. We're on one of those roller coasters. And we might be the best employee you've ever had. Or might even make employee of the month, which that happened earlier this year. Now, a lot So I want you all to do this. If you go Google my name with Ted Cruz's name, you'll know who Ted Cruz is, right? The senator from Texas. He was my law school roommate. I knew him in college. It's the whole thing. Like, don't ask. But if you Google his name and my name, it will show two things. There'll be an article where I told a funny story about him that his people didn't really like. So then you'll see the thing that his people put out that says, GQ source is disbarred felon. That sucked, right? I mean, now I don't care. I lean into it. I mean, I tell it like it doesn't affect me, right? I don't let it define me. I define it, right? I don't let it be my story. I write my story the way I want to. But the problem is people can still look that up. Like the guy that I went to go get the job from, he looked it up. Someone who I went to go sublet a room from, she looked it up. But fortunately, they met me and they liked me and they didn't think that that was me. But until I get rid of it, the internet will forever say that I was a disbarred felon that lived with Ted Cruz, which is irritating. And at some point I might get around to it. But yeah, it won't go away. You're going to need to take steps. So, yes.
I understand that when you get the expungement, jobs can't see your prior record. My question
Depending on the job, but yes.
My question is this. I heard recently that the new expungements that are being offered, that the authorities, law enforcement, cannot see your past record. Is that true?
It depends. Like if you're trying to work in law enforcement, I think they can. If you're trying to get state licensure, I'm not sure whether or not they can if it's expunged. But there are still, expunged just kind of means it's put off to the side. So if you get a background check for work, they definitely can't see it, right? It won't be there. But if law enforcement, they shouldn't be able to see it unless there's like a compelling need or reason. And if you're applying for a job in law enforcement, yeah, I think they can. But here's the thing, I don't know for sure, but I'm like, from what I know, talking to other people, I'm pretty sure that in that circumstance, yeah.
But you're saying this never go. What about, how do you get rid of it altogether? Would that be a part for it to just be gone like it never happened? Is that?
I think that this is the best we're going to get in terms of so, I mean, are you going to apply for a job with law enforcement? Because if not, it's gone, and I'm not even sure that they can see it in those circumstances, but I feel like somebody told me at one point that they can. So, but look, for all intents and purposes, it's gone. It's gone. Like when you have a job application and it says, have you ever been convicted of a felony? You get to say no. I mean, they don't ask you now, right? But if it did, you could say no. There are some states that don't have ban the box though, right? So if you're applying in one of those states and it says, if you've been convicted of a felony, you can say no. Yes.
When they do that, they say, all right, they don't ask you about these they'll ask you if you have a criminal background, but they still do the background check. They find out anyway. So. Yeah.
Well, if they ask you and you lie, then they'll find out. But if they ask you, yeah, they're always going to do the background check. But if you're expunged, it'll be gone. It'll be gone. If you're expunged, it'll be gone. Also, depending on where you're trying to get a job, like if you're trying to get a job with a state, they can look back further. But I'm fairly certain that in New Jersey, it only goes back 7 years for an employment-related background check. Now, some people used to confuse that with expungement. They would say like, oh, does it just fall off your record after 7 years? I'm like, no. It's there, but background checks won't see it. Does that help clear it up a little for you? Or yes.
To his question, it also states that once you get an expungement, and they do ask you if you have a criminal background, from what I'm reading right here, it said you deny it.
That's what I was just saying.
Well,
yeah.
I wanted to get to motor vehicle violation under Title 39, such as driving under the influence. You're saying that's not expungable?
It's not.
So
not in the portal system, no.
So I was looking at Title 39. What exactly are they talking about? It's not just like a DWI.
It's DUIs. It's DUIs.
Yeah, but I see certain things that they were talking about, like giving a car to somebody or driving somebody else's car. You know what I'm saying? And then being under influence without a license.
I haven't had a chance to look into like that deeply. I just know that if you have a DUI,
DWI, if you have license, if it's expungable, or if you've got caught driving, it's a DWI, you didn't have license. It's unexpungable.
No. If you have a DUI, whether you had a license or not, I think it's not expungable.
It's not expungable at all.
I mean, you can get a pardon or clemency or whatever, I think, but not in the portal. It's not.
And I know for a fact, if you drive and you're not a licensed driver, you still get a number. They still give you a number So it can come up in a computer that you're
Right.
unlicensed driver. Yeah.
Well, one of the things, I mean, that is one of the things we do here. We do try to get folks' licenses back. I mean, we're actually really good at it, but that's a whole separate thing. But we'll run your thing and we'll see what's there, right? We'll see what it looks like. But anybody else have any questions?
Are we gonna meet with them for signing?
Yes, we're gonna go in the order that people got here on the sign-in sheet. So that's make it easy. So if there's no more questions, everybody just sit tight for a minute. Let me go figure out logistically how we want to do this exactly, and let me see if the food wouldn't be here yet. But I'll be back in a minute. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill.
All right. Be right back.
Some of them. But like I said, anyway, you know.